So we've got some interesting cannabis news. Cannabis is an effective treatment for COVID-19. Probably not, but we'll talk about it and we'll have some insights. We've also got other cannabis news, ancient cannabis use in, Jerusalem of all places. We've got a little bit of information to give you. Now, cannabis as an effective treatment, right? The feds want to know, and they're offering their researchers $100,000 to find out. You can read the details on traxnewseditor. Now, I don't know if cannabis is helpful, but it does boost your immune system. It does definitely benefit you in a lot of different ways. Boris, what do you know about this?
The reason why I believe the feds are offering money, $100,000 for seeing if cannabis helps with coronavirus, is because a group of Canadian researchers actually showed that cannabis, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but basically what they said is that cannabis prevents the virus from getting into as many avenues that it would be, of many pathways that it would be going in, and it blocks the virus from coming in. They said, the Canadian researchers said, I believe up to 70%, which I believe when the U.S. feds found that out, they pretty much were like, we need to research this, you know?
Okay, so they printed $100,000. All right, so cannabis burnt during worship. What do you know about this one, Boris? This is your article.
Yes. Well, there's been a lot of research that I've been learning about with respect to cannabis being used by the ancients.
Sponsored by American Oak. I'm sorry, continue.
Yes. So one thing I read from an article is that they were suspecting that Jesus actually used cannabis in his anointing oil. And this is actual proof that they found remains of cannabis in temples in Israel that were ancient temples, and they believe that it was used in rituals, Jewish rituals during the time of, I believe, the Old Kingdom. So that's what this is about.
All right, so they used cannabis oil. It's an interesting story. I mean, where they got their cannabis from, and maybe Jesus was anointed with cannabis oil. I doubt it. It's probably olive oil or something like that, but, you know, we could all dream. Committee to approve legalization of cannabis. Cannabis is doing well. Cannabis is going to have a bright future on planet Earth, finally. Now that reefer madness is gone and we're out of that whole mess. So good luck, cannabis people. Cultivate and enjoy. Hopefully the big companies won't get their hands on it. And don't fuck it up is really what I hope.
Could I add something?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so with respect to what's going on in Israel and the Knesset approving basically a bill to go through the committee to decriminalize cannabis for those who are 21 years old and older, and it doesn't apply to people who are in the security services. If you're in the security service in Israel, you're still not allowed to use cannabis. But one thought that I was thinking about with respect to this is the potential effects that Israel, a country in the Middle East, a very hotbed country in the Middle East, legalizing cannabis, creating a market, retail distribution of cannabis within its country, and then you could imagine the effects that's going to have around the Middle Eastern area, especially with countries like Lebanon, Jordan, which are not as hardline as some other Arab majority countries are on cannabis, but they're still pretty hardline now. So maybe this would induce some of the countries in the Middle East to sort of relax their policies on cannabis.
Yeah, I don't, like Jenny said earlier, I don't think that I think Gabriella said that. Oh, my bad. But I don't think that they're going to follow the trend of Israel, the Arab countries, but we never know. So hopefully they do. I mean, cannabis will definitely mellow out that entire region, and they definitely need more of it. So good luck, guys.